Hello everyone, welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, and I am a blue dot in a red state utilizing Tarot to just help us navigate these very interesting times. So thank you for joining me and welcome. Today's reading is going to be a little bit different. What I'm doing is I'm going to kind of take a step back and look at the bigger picture. And I've been, the title of this reading is going to be All Roads Lead to the Tower. And if you notice, I've been getting the Tower card a lot. And the Tower card is just this is a very explosive card. This is a card of uncertain times. This is also a card of like the cosmic 2x4. You didn't learn your lesson the first time, so now you're going to learn your lesson. Okay, you either get to do it the easy way or the hard way, and you didn't choose the easy way, so now you get the hard way. Okay, and so this is where we are quickly approaching the Tower card. A lot of people, like in the media, is calling this the constitutional crisis. It's the Tower card. Okay. Other times that I was thinking about, other times that we have been in the Tower card as a country, and it was, like the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, the Great Depression, World War II, 9/11. And then I realized, oh my God, those were all really horrible times. And it's a time of societal unrest. Okay. So as we're approaching this, it's that fear of the unknown, because we're not going to know, like, how long is this going to go on for, when we get here. Okay, we're at the gates. We haven't even got here. Now, an example would have been when we saw, and we're seeing it still today, the economy, the stock market is tanking yet again today, and I'm doing this on recording this on Monday the 21st. So we're quickly approaching the gates. We see the smoke, and we're going to start seeing the flames here pretty soon. So what I want to do is just this kind of base reading on what is going to be finally that catalyst that gets us there. Okay, because right now you've got the growing grassroots movements, you have the lawsuits. You have SCOTUS, weighing in. I mean, you get 9-0 rulings, unanimous rulings against Trump. No matter what the White House says, they did not win. SCOTUS ruled against him. You have a whistleblower. I did that reading. In soon to be will be whistleblowers. Okay, so right now we've just got the first one. Wall Street is calling for Trump's impeachment. Business leaders are saying, they fear that he may be insane. That was their words. That, not mine. That's it. Their words, because there's no basis for this economic tariff policy at all. And so they fear he's insane. World leaders, it's being reported now that, the world leaders, they don't like the world economy being, blown up either. And that world leaders, they may start dropping leaks about Trump, like his ties to Putin and Epstein. I'm sure they've got, for whatever they have, I'm sure that, that's going to be something, that will be coming up. And then you have Lisa Murkowski with the, saying that Republicans are afraid to speak out. Okay, well, and so if you look, you can see kind of how all of this is blending together. Hopefully those grassroots movements will give, those constituents will give those moderate Republicans, especially the ones in swing districts, the strength that they need. They might be able to muster up the strength they need to oppose Trump. And it's only going to take a handful in both the House and the Senate. And, I saw, Tim Miller from the Bulwark was like, if you're scared, do something. You can change your party affiliation. You don't have to become a Democrat. You can become an independent and then caucus with Democrats. So it's only going to take a handful of those. So what I want to look at is kind of like this idea of all roads lead to the Tower card. Like, what is it that we can expect to see as we're approaching that? Like, what are going to be those final nails, or the straws that break the back, whatever, you want to use there. What is that going to look like? Okay. And I'm going to leave the Tower card out just because that's kind of the foundation of the reading. Just with what I'm seeing here is all cards lead to the Tower, or all roads lead to the Tower card. And I just want to do a base reading on this. Like, what is it that we can look for? What is going to be kind of like what emerges from this? Okay. As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay. What is it that we can expect to see? Base reading. 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 Base reading Okay. And I'm just going to put them here on top of this. Things have yet to be seen. Things have yet to be uncovered. And that's what we're getting here is like right now, with this Tower card, the good news about this card, there's always hope. There's always hope. The card that comes up after this in the deck is the Star card, which is our hopes and dreams. And so this is getting rid of basically the rot. Okay, getting rid of what is not working, and right now MAGA is not working. Is an authoritarian, fascist takeover of our country, flies in the face of our Constitution. It is not going to stand. Okay. And so this is getting beneath the rot, like really getting in there. And this is also things that are hidden that are going to be coming to light. So whatever it is that we think we see that's going on, I hate to say this, but just know there's so much more. Oh, okay. Deep breath. And once again, shining a light. That is going to be, I know in past readings, if you've watched past readings, you know I see this as Pam Bondi. I am seeing this as, in this case, more of the shining the light into, what is going on beneath the scene. Lisa Murkowski did that when she said the Republicans are scared. Okay, find a spine. Okay, there's a nice wand right there, nice rod. Talk to your constituents. Draw on their strength, okay, to stand up to this rogue administration, okay. And Knights of Wands. These are Knights are changes, wands. Get a spine. I think that we're going to start seeing this. I'm really getting the feeling of the Republicans, the moderate Republican, speaking here. You're going to start seeing more cracks in that. And we saw, like in the voting, you had Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, and Mitch McConnell vote against, whatever it was they voted against. So you're starting to see that with this. So, and another night, a practical approach. How are we going to have a practical approach for this? And I'm going to say these are conversations all going on behind the scenes. Okay, this is all stuff going on behind the scenes because you got this high priestess. So definitely, and a lot of knights. So how are we going to change this? So conversations going on behind the scenes, preparing for this. This is positioning yourself to overcome adversity. This is a lot of, every day is a breaking news story. Like, spin the wheel. It could be any one of these scandals that's going to be something that finally is enough. And it could just be the volume of everything and that they finally say enough to the chaos. Okay. And the King of Pentacles. I wonder who this King of Pentacles is. Could be like Congress finally accepting their role, like stepping into their role in checks and balances. That's really kind of like stepping into their full power of upholding the Constitution. Okay. And right now it's just kind of like, how are we going to do this? What are we going to do? And I'm also kind of getting the feeling like when this happens, it's more than just a handful. Like, I'm getting that feeling of, it was the Republicans that actually, I think it was Papa Bush, W's dad, H.W. Bush, that walked the articles of impeachment over to him, to the White House, and said, "You're done." Okay, that's the feeling I'm getting with this. Like, it's all of Congress. You're gonna have Maggot Mike and Trader Green. Some of those people are never gonna speak out against Trump, but the majority of them will be. So we've got Congress doing this. What is it that has led them to finally, step up? What is it? What is the final, what is finally getting them to step up? Because this is Congress. Ace of Swords, a court case. There's just like this, they do something and there is a decision that is so horrendous that even the Republicans, the majority of Republicans in Congress can't, it's just like, this is gone. This is a road too far. Okay. And I think we're getting there. And major transformation, like, we're putting an end to this. Like, it stops. Okay. Not being happy with what they're seeing at all. And this is going to be, and I got in, another reading that I recorded actually just before this, was about the courts and the birthright citizenship. So it's like something happens. It's just so horrendous that the courts make a decision. They rule against him, and I think that he's not gonna do what the courts say. And that, I mean, like he's skirting around it right now, but this is like a very blatant, like the courts literally say you will not, and in very simple terms, like birthright citizenship is a thing. You will not do Alien Enemies Act without, due process. You will not, those, it's going to be like that type of ruling to where Pam Bondi can't, try to claim victory. Okay. The burden, like, it's just become it. And this is like all roads lead to the Tower card. It's like all of these things come together to where you finally get this breaking point, and they say it's done, it's enough, it's over. Okay. And the final card here is Karma's a Bitch. You saw me shuffle. Okay. And I just want to make sure that I really did get in. This is for entertainment purposes only. I gotta get that in there just in case I didn't. Okay. So yeah, the Karma card. What goes around comes around. Right now, you can only do so much to the people before they uprise. Okay, the only thing I need now is the Judgment card coming out with this. And so, yeah, the hand of fate keeps turning, and those that are on top are soon going to be flung off, so this is the Karma card. Okay, Karma's a Bitch. So what this is looking like is that final thing is like it's become too much. I'm just curious about, no. Do I have the Judgment card coming up here? I just want to see here real quick. No, I do get the World card. No Judgment card. Okay. The Judgment card is the People Uprising card. So you get that all of this. Okay? What the world leaders are saying, what the whistleblowers are saying, what is coming out of the cabinet, what is going on, with the grassroots movement, those protests growing, that all of it comes together. Like you have this momentum. He finally, like, super defies the court, like really defies the court, and these, Republicans, because they're the ones in a position in power in Congress right now, enough of them say, put a stop to this. We are going to uphold the Constitution. We are not happy at all with what we're seeing, and Karma's a Bitch. Okay. I am curious. Let me pull this up here real quick. Okay, so one thing that I did that kind of led me on this path to start this channel even was I did a reading. And like so many other readers, we got that, Kamala Harris was going to win the election. Okay, great. And then she didn't. And I was like, that's really weird. And so I did a reading, and I got that and this was like the day before the inauguration. I was like, and I got she was going to be inaugurated. And I'm like, no, she's not. Like, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then I did, is Trump going to be inaugurated? And I got, yes, he is. He's going to be sworn in. And I was like, okay. So a teacher of mine always said, trust the cards. Always trust the cards. Now, you as the reader may misinterpret, but the cards are going to be right. And I'm like, okay, but this is like, I can't be right here. And it was like, okay, so she's got to be running for governor. Like, in my mind, I'm trying to make this be something that like would make sense. Because the other alternative to this is like the election gets decertified, and I just don't see that. That just sounds too fantastical for that to happen. So but if you look at right now, I mean, we kind of live in a fantastical world, not in a good way. And there could be a case, I would think a very strong case being made that none of them have been upholding their oath to office. None of them have been supporting the Constitution. So as we get into this, something that seemed like fantastical and like not a possibility and no, is like, is that like, Does that actually, and I say that going, that sounds like such a conspiracy theory, but I kind of feel like we are living in like one great big conspiracy theory right now anyway. And like, I mean, honestly, would we be surprised? No, we would not be surprised. And so part of me just kind of wants to put that out there that I did get that, but even I don't think that that is, uh, it's like, is that likely? Is that probable? I mean, if you'd asked me a year ago, I would have said no. But, today's Monday. So, hey, why not? Why don't we go there? So I'm going to ask, is this election even going to be upheld? I'm just, because I got that, a few months ago, and I just kind of I want to put that somewhere. Okay. As I said, I would be shocked if that even comes up, but we are living in a world today that we are in the upside down, and so is this election going to be decertified? Once again, entertainment, this is entertainment purposes only. This could be like a Hollywood movie. Oh man. So is this election going to be decertified? Our country, Mad King Don, he is like taking over our country right now. The courts, in past readings, this could also be that Congress, somebody, makes a decision to go back to happier times, moving forward, and be patient. Be going forward in a more balanced approach, that the courts are going to the courts are going to remove him. Now, as far as an election being, decertified, I'm looking at this. There's nothing here saying that, I can't say yes and I can't say no just because, like, have you looked outside? Have you checked the news lately? So what I will say is that there's going to be a more balanced approach going forward. We're going to return to happier, more stable times in going forward. So I don't, I don't know that Trump is going to be in office very long. I don't know about and this really could be Trump, and this Nine of Wands or Nine of Pentacles could be like Trump and his administration. Trump and his administration, they're the sword of truth comes down, and we return, we are moving forward in a more balanced approach, returning to happier times, and just be patient. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just, as I said, I just kind of wanted to put that out there. As yeah. So, let's just do 3 final cards on what is it that we need to know about all roads lead to the Tower card. Any final thoughts? Just 3 cards. You saw me shuffle the Devil card, toxicity. This is also, this card is 15, so 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 in the tarot deck is the Lovers. So these cards, and actually in the Rider-Waite, they look much more similar than they do in this deck. This is people chained to, just toxicity. And evil. That's just what this is. This is an abusive relationship. This is definitely a lower energy card. And so anything else we need to know? The Devil card. And walking away, turning our back, going in a new direction. And I think that even MAGA, I don't know if, like Trader Green and MAGA Mike are going to, turn their backs, but you get the majority of people turn their back on this toxic administration, and victory for the people. So, yeah, that's what I get with that. So all roads lead to the Tower card. And as I said, if you go back and this reading is kind of take a step back to the bigger picture, and know that we've got all of these things leading up to the Tower card. To that, let's come back here to the Tower card. So think, you've got the protest growing, you've got the leaders, you've got, world leaders, business leaders. You have Republicans afraid to speak out. Okay, you have the courts. What I think is, and and what came up here in this reading, what I think is going to happen is that this administration is going to absolutely, in the Supreme Court, like in their face, defy a court order. I don't know which court case that's going to be. Is it going to be, Abreu Garcia, that they continue to do that? Is it going to be they deport people without due process? Is it going to be birthright citizenship? I mean, it's like spin a wheel, pick any one of those things. So it's kind of like a race to which one of those cases gets to the Supreme Court first, that this administration is going to absolutely, without a doubt, defy. And I'm not talking about, claiming victory when there was no victory. I mean, I'm talking like there's no denying it. Okay. That is when I see Republicans joining with the Democrats and putting a stop to this. Now, that King of Swords came up. Could this be a decertification of the election? I mean, honestly, I'm going to put that like in the category of anything's possible. If you would have asked me, 2, 3, 4 months ago, I'd have said no, that's no. But now I wouldn't be surprised. But what I get is that this does stop. Okay. Does that mean we get JD Vance as, president? I don't even want to do that reading right now. We'll cross that bridge as we get a little bit closer. Okay. But this administration is quickly coming to the end of its road, and the road ends at the Tower card, where you have the courts and Republicans coming together, with the strength of all of this other stuff leading up. So, the constituents, protesting and calling, the world leaders, the business leaders, all of that, the whistleblowers. All of that is culminating into this final showdown, and it's going to be the Republicans coming together with the Democrats and the courts and taking care of business. So take a breath. It's all going to be fine. And just know, as we start feeling like, as we get closer and we get that anxiety feeling, just take a breath. Take a deep breath. I'll probably repost shorts of this, saying, we knew we were going to get here. We knew this was going to happen. We just, remember, fear of the unknown, and we're going to get through this. So I will keep doing these readings. Keep checking in with me as the news happens. I will be doing the readings. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to have subscribe. I'm going to have another video up here for you to watch. Especially if this is your first time checking out the channel. Check out some of my other readings. I really do appreciate it. So I will catch you on the next reading, and have a great day.